The following is a non-profit Fandub. Lost Alice belongs to the Shall We Date series, which is owned by NTT Solmare. Please support the official release on Dear Otome. We hope you enjoy.
I awoke to the sound of birds chirping outside the window. I woke up surrounded by a soft and warm blanket. It was a calm and pleasant morning. Or so I thought. I suddenly realized something was very wrong. I was being held in an embrace. Being held in such a tight, passionate embrace, I couldn't move. I was in a bed that I knew I had entered alone last night. As soon as I realized the situation I was in, the sleepy haze disappeared. Kyle! Why, you... This was a turn of events I hadn't anticipated. I realized my voice was shaking with rage. Go away! Right this minute! What do you think you're doing?
I don't think it's obvious.
Kyle's voice was still groggy from sleep.
I'm holding you, Amelie. My precious Alice. What else?
Either he wasn't fully awake, or it was deliberate, but he made no move to let go of me. For Pete's sake, I'm not yours and I'm not Alice! So there's no reason for you to hold me! I moved my arms in an attempt to pry him off me, but the man was heavy and didn't budge. I raised my voice and tried to thrash around, but Kyle just tightened his embrace. It was as if he was doing everything in his power to make sure I didn't escape.
Your body's so warm and comfortable. I slept so well when I was holding you. Your hair is fluffy, and your body is soft, just how I like it. I want to stay like this with you. Forever.
No matter how comfortable Kyle was and how much he didn't want to let me go. I'm at the end of my rope! While deeply regretting my decision to spend the night at his house. That's enough, you pervert! I shouted and used all my strength to kick Kyle. As Kyle had been sleeping and defenseless, he went flying off the bed. Perhaps I was a tad too forceful. I sat up in bed, instantly regretting resorting to physical means. Kyle, are you alright? I was met with peals of laughter. He seemed to be enjoying himself immensely. He was laughing so hard that tears were forming. I must not have kicked him that strongly because he didn't look to be in pain. He sat up on the floor.
I knew you wouldn't be happy, but I never thought you'd kick me out of bed. You really are magnificent.
Kyle knew I wouldn't like it, and he intentionally got into bed with me? On top of that, I kicked him out and yelled at him, and he's laughing about it. I was sure. I have amnesia, so I can't be sure, but he's a pervert. I don't think I've ever met anyone with such an eccentric taste in women. Kyle's sensibilities can't be normal. I doubt they're even natural.
Seeing you so beautiful like this.
Kyle's amethyst-colored eyes shimmered mysteriously as he tried to stifle a laugh.
It makes me want to do whatever it takes to bend you to my will.
I couldn't put it into words, but I felt my emotional freedom being constricted. My body stiffened as a strange sensation overcame me. Just then, the door to the sweet dream room was kicked in with gusto.
Stop right there, Kyle!
Luke! Luke the Hatter came rushing in. His voice was full of rage when he took in the sight of me on the bed and Kyle on the floor.
What did you do to Amelie, Kyle?
Take a closer look at this situation. It's more like, what did she do to me?
When a man and a woman are alone in a sweet dream room, it's common sense to show concern for the safety of the woman.
I was touched by Luke's gentlemanly observation. It was a far cry from Kyle. In spite of myself, I was impressed, but It's partly my fault, too. I spoke after reflecting on my actions. There's no doubt Kyle bears the brunt of the blame, but I feel somewhat bad for resorting to violence.
What do you mean by somewhat?
Well, you wouldn't let me go, so you didn't leave me much choice, did you? I only did what I had to do to protect myself. Kyle smiled tightly as I stated my case.
You have a point, Amelie. I have no comeback, because you're absolutely right in that regard.
Kyle's outright admission that he had no intention of letting me go and was even willing to be brutalized. I gave him a grudging smile. Luke regarded us both with displeasure.
The two of you seem to be getting along.
Don't be fooled by your
along just
imagination.
fine.
Kyle and I spoke at the same time. Luke knitted his brows with wariness and held out his hand toward me.
Let's go, Amelie.
Huh? Go where?
It doesn't matter, but there's no way I'm leaving you here.
Luke tried to approach me but was stopped in his tracks. A pillow suddenly came flying in Luke's path.
I won't let you take her.
Did Kyle just throw that pillow?
I'm willing to accept your challenge, but don't blame me if you get hurt.
Luke spoke in a low whisper and conjured up several plates from his outstretched hands. The plates floated into the air before flying in a straight line toward Kyle.
Not to worry.
As soon as Kyle spoke, a giant stuffed pig emerged in front of him. The flying plates made a soft sound as they were buried into the stuffed animal.
I suggest you worry about yourself instead.
I stood there speechless, holding back a gasp as I watched the strange battle unfold. What's going on? This has to be magic! Luke glared at Kyle intently, and Kyle responded with a cold smile. The situation seemed explosive, but I was suddenly level-headed as I took in the impossible circumstances. Both of you, wait a minute. I stopped them with a sigh, and then I remembered. I'm still in my pajamas, you know. How long are you gonna make me stand here like this? I'd like you to leave so I can change. You can pick up where you left off afterwards.
You're right. I apologize, Amelie. I shouldn't have taken the liberty of entering a lady's sweet dream room.
Luke blushed and bowed meekly before hastily exiting the room. Kyle was smiling. He just sat there smiling, showing absolutely no inclination of leaving. You need to leave now too, Kyle.
Huh?
No, not huh. Come on, out you go.
Do I have to? I don't want to be parted from you for even a second, Amelie.
Well, I want you to go away. No matter how strongly I rejected him, Kyle just kept on smiling. Rather than wanting to be with me, I felt like he just wanted to see how I would react.
Kyle, you just won't give up, will you?
Luke must have noticed we were bickering because he came back. His expression was a mix between disgust and anger as he grabbed Kyle's hand.
Let's go, Kyle.
Alright, I'm coming, so you don't need to pull so hard.
Kyle smiled wryly and waved to me as he exited the room. And then, today is gonna be another busy day.